President Trump may have us pull out from the Paris Climate Agreement, but the question isn't why we pull out, but why we pulled in to begin with. That was Obama's choice, and he did it on his own, which sadly he could. When a pal spends cash on lotto tickets instead of toothpaste, it's a bad decision, but you can't stop him. And that's what the Paris Accord is, the world's worst lottery ticket. Imagine a ticket where the prize is way smaller than the price of entry, a ticket that costs 10 grand that gets you $5 in 100 years. That's the Accord's most optimistic prediction, that it will cut temperatures by 0.05 Celsius over a century. Let that sink in. In scientific terms, it's trivial. In human terms, it's homicidal. Trivial because there'd be no difference if we did nothing. But it turns homicidal once you think of the things we might have done instead with all those trillions of dollars. You could solve everything from malaria to malnutrition. The UN estimates that for $75 billion a year, we could give education, basic health care, sanitation, clean drinking water to every person on Earth. By diverting funds from that, the Climate Accord signers hurt millions of people they never have to meet, so there's no guilt. And that's what this is really about. It's about guilt. The Climate Accord is fueled by a lie that the West is so foul that only chucking trillions at a problem will absolve us of our exaggerated sins. But instead, the Paris deal makes life a whole lot worse. Kill it, then let's dance on its grave. You know who signed the Accord? I love this, Dana. North Korea.
Well,
and everybody's going, see, even North Korea's doing it.
Even North Korea, but well, they might have nuclear power soon.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, but no, they would prefer Earth to be spending trillions of dollars on this and leave North Korea alone.
That's right. So the other interesting thing is that if you remember when this was signed, and we talked about it on the show, we were making fun of them for saying that President Obama deserved all this credit because it actually will achieve nothing.
No.
If you look at the Massachusetts MIT assessment, it was something like global temperatures could reduce by 0.2 degrees Celsius in 2100.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Actually, 0.02. Well, it's 0.02.
0.2, excuse me.
And that's actually, I gave a higher one, 0.05, because I was feeling diplomatic.
Because you're being nice. Well, I think that the president tomorrow, he says he's going to announce this at 3 o'clock in the Rose Garden, bold venue for something like this. I think that he can explain it either way. If he says he's going to stay, it doesn't matter because it doesn't really have any teeth in it.
Right.
And he can say that this is important for diplomacy. If he decides to leave, he can say it doesn't matter. Either way, I think that it doesn't matter.
Jesse, what do you think he's going to do?
He ran on America first, not Paris first. I think he pulls out. It's worthless like a piece of paper. I actually read what it said. Listen to this.
Yep.
It sets goals for reducing emissions.
Right.
And then every year they meet at a fancy place.
That's all it's about.
And they talk about whether or not they've met those goals.
This is why President Obama didn't deserve all of that adulation and praise at the time.
And it's non-binding, and there's no penalties for not reaching the goals, and you can pull out of it, and there's no penalties for that either. So the whole thing's worthless, and even considering that Trump's policies do take into effect, under Trump's current policy approach, by 2025, our carbon emissions will be going down 19% lower than they will have been in 2005. So they're already projecting lower emissions significantly if we just continue down the path we're going on. And it's much better than China.
They pull out emissions. This is about five-star hotels, Kimberly. These people just created a process for the rest of their lives. They get to go to the best places in the world, hang out, and meet Leo DiCaprio. That's what this is about.
Well, that's what it's about. And then Elon Musk, like, well, you know, we may be forced to withdraw from panels. Fine. Get back to making your fancy cars. These climate change treaties, they're basically a transfer of wealth from, you know, developed economies to less fortunate because you give them grants essentially to subsidize so that they can then say, we are fighting climate change, right? And by the way, so the U.S. signs this. This is a bad deal for us. We're the ones that are going to be penalized. We're already doing a good job and making sure that we have reduced carbon emissions. So we're actually wearing the white hat here. We're the good guys already, but yet we want to continue to, like, do bad deals, punish ourselves, lock ourselves in climate handcuffs for what?
Wow.
I don't know.
You know, sometimes I think to myself,
you just don't know what you're doing here, Juan.
I mean, unbelievable.
I think the same thing,
I
Juan.
listen to this gunk and I think, wow.
Give me a fact, Juan.
Do they
One
really?
fact.
I'll give you a bunch of facts. You're talking about 0.5. Dana
Yes.
wants 0.2. You don't
That's
think?
from MIT.
Oh,
That's not
wait a
from
minute.
Dana.
You don't. Oh, wait, that's what you said, but I
But it's from,
say.
the, it's from MIT.
But here's what I'm saying to you guys. Oh, so that means that it's not rising. It's not continuing to rise. No, you say it's reducing. Oh, okay. And you know, you talk about things like, oh, what about floating cities? What about scarcity and hunger?
Floating cities.
Oh, yeah. What about? No, don't talk about that.
Manhattan.
Where are you
We're not
getting
gonna
this information?
benefit.
Did you watch Inconvenient Truth on NyQuil again?
Oh, Al Gore is
That's
in my.
damn
You know
good.
how Ted Nugent tweets you? Al Gore is in my head.
Al,
Get out of here.
Al Gore said the ice
This
caps
is-
were going to melt by
Yeah, let me just
2014.
tell you
Last time I
something.
checked,
no,
it's still
so
up there.
ignore. Oh, I see. That's your conservative
Okay,
defense.
do you know how much this is going to
Please.
cost the
Ignorant.
United
Just say-
States?
That was an
You know
ignorant
what?
statement
The
by your man, Al Gore.
The USA,
My God.
Syria, and Nicaragua, the only countries in the world that say, oh, nothing's going on, temperatures aren't changing,
No,
aren't
the-
getting hot. Oh,
and
no,
why?
don't talk
The
about
other
it.
So you agree with North
This
Korea
is-
then?
You know what this is? This
Yeah.
is Steve Bannon
Oh,
and the
my
nationalists
gosh.
saying,
Oh,
this
my
is Make
God.
America Great Again. That's why he's tweeting that.
Juan,
and
I've been
somehow,
talking about this
I think
stuff
that's
for
for
10
suckers.
years.
It's
I've
for
been talking
suckers
about
who
this
don't
before.
notice
Why
that
are you
there's
blaming
no
us
jobs
on the
deal.
nationalists? You know
There's
why?
no jobs deal,
You know
no
what, Juan?
trade deals,
You want to
no social
believe
safety
this
net with his
country
budget.
dry of money and resources
yeah.
for no reason, just to say that we support climate.
Oh,
so this is
imagine.
supposed
You
to
wouldn't do something
spend
good
it.
that would
No, no,
help
no.
other people.
You have to spend at
No,
least
the good things are the things that they're neglecting. Clean water, hygiene,
Yeah.
malnutrition, malaria.
Okay, here
All
we
of
go.
that could be
Here's
solved.
Why
what
don't
you're
you just
gonna
let the
do.
Chinese
For the
go ahead?
price-
The Chinese are the big polluters.
Juan,
Let them go.
Juan, you want some facts? Wrap yourself around this, okay? We will spend at least $100 trillion in order to reduce the temperature by the end of the century by a grand total of, wait for it, 0.3 of
This
1
is what we were discussing,
degree.
Kimberly. And of
Can
course,
you think of a
it's
better way to
keeping-
spend that money?
Yeah, Kimberly,
last
there's
word to
lots-
Dana.
That's like saying lots of things, but to keep the temperatures from rising is essential for us.
Their
That's
climate
Dr.
models have been
Bjorn
gone. In
Lomborg.
fact, if you have a slight increase, that helps with vegetation, which increases lifespan.
I have
Dana.
one sentence, which is that President Trump can reverse President Obama's mistake by withdrawing from this accord and then putting it to the Senate. This
Yes.
is something President Obama
Yeah.
was not willing to do, and it would stop the nonsense of the executive branch going around the Congress to try to commit America to decisions that it's not willing to make legislatively.
Exactly. And on that note,
Thank you.
You know what? You could have saved that in your journal, and I'm glad you didn't.
GPJ.
All right. Boy, these drugs are starting to hit. I'm sick.
You'll be out tomorrow.
I have decongestant. I have decongestant.
We got it.
I have stomach
You know
stuff.
who you're making sick now? The control room.
I know.